welcome everyone to the webinar info session about the American Camp Crew Camp Counselor with Alliance Abroad, Central Europe. That's our first Camp Counselor webinar in Central Europe. So I'm very happy and very excited, and I think we're ready to go with the presentation. So Carmen.
We are.
Oh, I wanted to just make the introduction first. Carmen Cooper will be speaking about American Camp Crew program and her experience, because she used to be a participant on the Camp Counselor program.
Yes. Okay, thanks, Bart. Okay, so I do also work for Alliance Abroad. I live in Austin, Texas, where we have an office, and I love camp. I've got a camp behind me. Bart has one behind him. We just wanted to make it a little bit fun. So part of why I wanted to do this was because I was a kid at camp. I was the kid that needed something to do every summer. I was in a single parent home, and my mom in New York City said, well, we're going to send you to summer camp. And she would send me away for 3 weeks at a time during the summer, and it wound up being the best summers of my life. So camp is a very traditional, normal part of American little kid living here in the United States. You can go to camp every day for just a few hours in a local neighborhood, or you can go hours away to a different state and have an experience. I loved camp so much that I stayed and worked there until I was 22. And I also met my husband there, who was a J1 counselor from England. So camp is an amazing experience. It changes lives, and it's not just a tagline. We say this for a reason. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a little bit of information to see if this program is right for you, to see if this is what you want to do with your summer. I have invited Daniel. He's from Spain. He participated in our program last summer, and he did such a phenomenal job. He's our camp ambassador. So I invite him to take part and share his experience with us. And as you can see, he's in Spain, and I'm talking to you guys, and you're in Poland, and we hire people from all over the world. And that's such an important part of the camp experience. I grew up meeting people from so many different countries, and I still talk to them. We're still friends. So without any further fluff, I will get going with our presentation and give you some information at the end. Daniel will say a few words about his experience, and then we will take all of your questions. Okay, let's get started. Okay, let me go back. So camp info session, everyone's got a story about their summer. What will yours be? So we're talking a few months of the year, May through August. Anywhere in that time, you can participate in a summer camp. Each camp starts at a different time. This is the pictures we're using are actual pictures from this past summer. This is Victoria and her group of campers, and they're teenagers. They're not little kids, and they were hiking. And that's actually the camp that I went to. And Tracy, who's a part of our program as well, went there. So we have a very special place in our heart for it. What's summer camp all about? So it's not always what you see in the movies and on TV, but here are some points that we want to make sure that you understand. Camps are very much a traditional place. People have been going there for years. There are some camps that have been in existence for over 100 years. So it's a place, a community, a second family, a second home to a lot of people, and they look forward to going every year. Camp is fun. You have to be fun. You have to be outgoing. You have to be loud and silly and crazy. You have to want to sing the songs, wear the costumes, enjoy working with kids. That's what the program is about. Teamwork. You'll be meeting people. You may be going to camp all by yourself. You may be getting on a plane for the first time, arriving in a new country, in a new state, a new city, and meeting a bunch of people that you've never met, but you're all there for the common purpose of teamwork and having a good summer. You'll be in a safe place. Camp is not usually in a major city. It's hours away in the woods, sometimes several hours. And it's a special place, but you're safe, you're guarded. Everyone takes care of everyone. You will be unplugged. You will not be on your phone scrolling Instagram while you're working with children at camp. You're not playing video games. You're not turning on the TV. This is a place out in nature. You're exploring. You're swimming in the lake. You're having so much fun. You don't need your phone. When you're off, you can contact your family and friends, tell them what amazing time you're having. Friendships. So, I mean, I told you before, I started when I was a little kid. I still have those friends. Social media has been great for that. Friends throughout the world, people you keep in touch with, they are friendships that will last you a lifetime because there are people that you'll remember, memories that you'll have. It'll just take you through life. It's hard work. This is not a vacation. This is about working with lots of children, a lot of children, more children than you've ever seen, probably. Some camps have 500, 700 kids. The turnover is daily or weekly or bi-weekly. Daniel, am I right? A lot of kids. Memories, the memories that you make, I will still talk about that. And, you know, sometimes you'll see in, was that movie, American Pie or whatever it was. And she's like, oh, at band camp. Yes, that's exactly it. There's always going to be a memory that you're going to talk about. Opportunities. This is not just a one summertime thing. Camps will recognize your hard work. They'll recognize your skills. You'll want to go back and you never know what it leads to. And it's opportunities for you to bring home the skills that you've learned at camp back home to your family, to your friends, to your university, to your careers. Challenge. It is the biggest challenge of your life. You're going to get through the first 2 weeks and say, that's it. I'm done. I want to go home. This is not for me. And the challenge is you have to dig deep and say, I can do this. I want this. I'm here for a reason. And when you finish it, it makes the difference. Okay, so camp program comparisons. We've got several different camp programs that we offer. Anything from a sports camp that's focused on football or soccer, whichever you prefer to call it. We have traditional day camps, we have traditional overnight camps, and we have special need camps. They all offer something special, and we will help you find what works best for you. We'll work on what times of the year that you're available for, whether it's the middle of May or the 1st of June. We'll work all those things out with you, and we will find your skills and match you with the right camp. Okay. Just know that when you sign up for the camp program, you are signing up for a minimum of 9 weeks. It's not a couple weeks and then you go home. You're looking at 10 to 12 weeks of work in the United States. Okay, what are your qualifications? So in the chat box, if you'd like to do this, well, most likely everyone here is over 18 and you have excellent English, right? And then so to qualify for this program, are you a student at a university? Are you a teacher? Have you been a teacher? Are you a youth program worker, or do you have a special skill? If you want, you can put that in the chat, and then that will help us and we can have some fun with that. Special skills. I'm not talking about video games. I am talking about, can you swim really well? Can you be a lifeguard? Do you ride horses? Do you do pottery, ceramics, batik? Do you do climbing? Do you love climbing mountains or do rock climbing at a sports place? Do you play football? Do you play tennis? Are you a kayak instructor? Can you do any of these things? If you have a special skill that you like to do as a hobby, most likely we can match you up with a camp that is looking for someone like you who can work with children and teach them this skill. This is a huge part of what camp is about. Where are the camps? So I've got some pretty stars popping up on your screen. As you can see, they're in lots of different states and even more. These are just the initial camps that we have just from these first 2 months of recruiting, and there's multiples in every state. You can also see little calendar icons on there. So based on when you're available, that will tell us a lot about where you can and can't work at a camp, because they have a date of when they need people to arrive, and we need to fit you in that criteria. Okay. And we can answer questions about this. I just want to get through the slides and give you the information. Okay, so this is your schedule. This is a typical day at camp. You're up at 7 a.m. and you go to bed around 9:30, unless you are on duty for the night and you're watching the cabin until usually midnight, maybe 1 a.m. It depends on the camp. So everything gets done together in smaller groups. The groups are divided by age, and everyone travels around the camp and visits different spots, whether it's swimming or arts and crafts or any of the skills that we talked about before. There's rest periods, there's meal periods, and the fun part is, like, throughout this day, you're singing songs, you're being silly. There's fun days that are going to be themed. You know, there's Olympics at camp. There's so many fun things that happen. In this time, everyone is given some hours off for respite. You usually get 1 to 2 days off depending on the camp. But as you can see, there's like no time here for you to like just sit and chill on the side. You're at work. Here are some of the camp activities. We talked a little bit about some of them. I just want to give you a graphic in case anything sounded different for you. During the summer in the United States, it's really hot. And depending on the state you're in, it's going to be even hotter than you think it will be. So a lot of water activities get done: swimming, water fights, all kinds of boating. Some camps even have jet skis. Okay. So there's really a lot that gets done, things that you probably don't do in your regular day at a summer camp. Wi-Fi. I love this saying. It sounds silly, but what's in it for you? So when you sign up with Alliance Abroad to do the American Camp Program, these are the things that you need to keep in mind are for you. This is a cultural exchange experience. This is not working at a regular job where you're making money and then paying rent and buying your food, and it's just a job. This is a cultural exchange experience for you to work at a traditional summer camp in the United States, improve your English, have some personal growth, exchange things about your country that people want to know about. You have housing, meals, and laundry included with almost every camp opportunity that we have. While you're doing this program, you do receive a stipend of, it's about 2,000 USD, give or take. It just depends on the camp. Sometimes we can get you a little more, sometimes it's a little bit less, but it's around that time, that amount of money. Alliance Abroad is me and anyone else that works on our team. We are your 24/7 support while you're in the United States. We will get to know each other very well. We are your support. You also have medical insurance coverage while you're here during that time. A couple days before and a couple days after, we give you for coverage. During your program, you're allowed to travel within the United States. A lot of people travel right after their program. They've made their friends. They decide, we're going to go to New York. That's Mariella in the picture. And that was one of like the 10 stops that she traveled on through the United States. And every time she went somewhere, she sent me a new photo. So I've got some awesome photos of her traveling, and she did it by herself. She actually didn't even go with anyone else, but it was so important to her. She's from the Dominican Republic. This was her story. She said, I want to go to camp. She went to Colorado. Can you imagine going to Colorado? Have you heard of it? Do you know what it looks like? It's very different from New York. So she was in Colorado for the summer, and then she said, okay, I'm doing New York, I'm doing Los Angeles, I'm doing Las Vegas. She went everywhere, and she had the most amazing time. Career growth and English. I think those are just things that you get as another benefit from participating. Okay. So we have limited amount of spaces. Bart is an amazing person to guide you through this process. So he is step one. You apply through him. Okay. He will help you with your first interview. He will talk to you, see, what your qualification is. And then he will help you apply through our system and get your information in there. And then you get to interview with either myself or with Tracy, but you can't see her, but you'll get to know her. And then we try to make it really easy. We will walk you through the whole process, and we have this for you if you're like, well, where am I at? Where am I at in this process? So it's an interview with Bart, an interview with the camp crew team, and then we try to get you an interview with a camp. That's the most important part. The camp gets to decide if it's a yes or a no. And it's okay if it's not a yes right away. We will find another opportunity for you, but we work really, really hard to find the right match for you. We want you to be happy. We want you to have an amazing experience. We also want the camps to be happy. So we work really hard to make sure this happens. But Bart may say a few words after this about applying, but time is of the essence. The sooner you apply, the better the opportunities are for you, as well as pricing opportunities. Okay, so I think he's got some specials going on. And then these are just some photos of some of the counselors that participated this last summer. We're all about stories. We're all about, your experience, and we just can't wait to hear what your camp experience is going to be like. And that's it. I get to stop talking, which I can appreciate. But then I'll just ask Daniel, and, I'm not really formulating any questions or anything, but if you have any advice for these young people that are on the webinar as to why they should consider doing the camp program or what you got from it, we'd love to hear what you have to say.
Okay, first of all, hello for everyone, and thank you, Carmen, for giving me the opportunity of being here. And okay, the first thing I want to say to all of you is that being in the summer camp is really good. It's one of the best experiences that you will have in your life, but you have to be physically and mentally prepared for being there, because you have to be like working with kids all the time. I mean, if you are tired or you are like exhausted or whatever, you have to be there. The camp is for the camper, not for you. You are gonna have like off days, and that's when you have to recover your energy on whatever. So you have to be prepared for being with the kids. And is what Carmen have said. You are gonna have fun during the camp and after the camp. If you have made friends and you are gonna travel around the United States, and that's awesome. But you have to be prepared for being there. I know that sometimes you are thinking about like, should I go? Shouldn't I go? But if I were you, I would decide yes, because it's one of the best experiences that I told you of my life. I was there. My English now is better than when I went the first day and I was talking with Carmen. But it's a really good experience. I can describe it, but it's awesome. It's something that you have to do. And if you are thinking about doing it or not, I think that you don't have to think anymore and say yes, because you have to improve yourself and be the best version of yourself in this summer camp or wherever in your life, is what I say. That's all for me.
Thank you. I know I put you on the spot and I appreciate it, but I'm pretty sure Daniel is going to be returning this summer. And he was working at Camp Longhorn, which isn't Texas, where I am, and it's about an hour and a half or so from our office. So it was nice. We actually go out to the camps and visit our participants that are there. So we love doing that and being a part of it. So thank you, Daniel. And then I'll turn it over to Bart so that.
Thanks, Daniel. Carmen, we have a question in the chat box. Claudia is asking, if I will not be a university student in May 2023, can I still apply for that job?
Yes, because that's only one of the options. So we will just talk to you to see what other things qualify. I mean, if it sounds like you want to do the camp program, so we just need to find the right opportunity for you. So those things we put there just as, a guide to help us get you the visa. Those are the qualifications that the Department of State are looking for when you apply. So that's the other part of this is, this is not just saying, yes, we hire you. This is an important thing thing. You're applying with the Department of State to the United States government for a work visa, basically, to work with children in the United States. So we've got a little bit of paperwork and we've got some boxes to check, but yes, you should absolutely apply.
You're welcome. Any more questions, anyone?
Ask all the questions. There's no silly questions like it. Even if I need to clarify something, I'm happy to do that.
Yeah, if you want to ask a question in Polish, that's fine too. I can just, answer. Let me just switch to Polish for a sec, okay? Jeżeli macie jakieś pytania w języku polskim, to również możecie je tutaj zadać na czacie, wtedy ja przetłumaczę i będziemy mogli na nie odpowiedzieć. Carmen, I think we have one more question from Carolina. She's asking, am I able to work on the camp and also study at this university? So let me just, clarify it a little bit. So if you mean about studying at the university in Poland or in Europe and going to the United States for the camp program just for the summer, then yeah, that's fine. But if you're asking if you could study at the same time that you will be working at the camp, then I don't think so. That's an option.
It's tough, I know Daniel had a couple of exams and things towards the end, but it was at the very beginning of camp. And his director gave him permission to do that because it was important. And Daniel was doing an outstanding job. So he wasn't studying and then just letting the kids do what they had. He used his time off efficiently to get his work done, but it was prearranged. Now, if it's just one or two assignments, or I've got to log in and do a test or something as last minute and the dates just fall in that time, then I want to say your chances are 50-50. You just have to get a director to say yes. It's saying, hey, I'm qualified for this. I would love to work at your camp. These are my skills, but I have a school conflict. Is there something we can work out? So you never know until you ask. But if it's, I need to study the entire summer and I've got exams and I've got papers due, I would say then this is not the right time to apply.
Thanks, Carmen.
Yes, I was in Texas and I had exams, and the directors help you as much as they can. So don't be afraid of asking them, because they are going to give you the opportunity to study or doing an exam or wherever you need.
Yeah.
Thank you, Daniel. So we've got another question from Patricia. How much does it cost? So let me answer that question. So we have a special pricing prepared for the first, let's say 20 people who will sign up. But if you want to just get some information about that pricing, you have to write me directly at programs@allianceabroad.eu. I'm going to type in that email address in the window. So any questions about the pricing or some more details, just hit me. Just sending an email to that email box and I'll be able to help. Okay, Claudia is asking a question in Polish. So Carmen, just give me a sec. I'm gonna read it and then translate. Okay, so she will stick to English. I want to apply. What should I do right after the webinar? On what website should I go? Or maybe you have a link, or I should just contact you. So let me take over here once again. So if you want to apply if you're ready to apply for the camp program, you can just go ahead and send us an email to programs@allianceabroad.eu, or you can go to the website allianceabroad.eu and just fill out the form at the website. But I think that the easiest way will be just emailing us. This way, we will make sure that you will get the right application form right away. All right, any more questions? Carmen, you want to add something?
No, I would just say, even if you're not sure and something made you nervous about what I said and you feel like you're not qualified, those are just things that I have to go over just to let you know, the paperwork side of it. But honestly, if you're between the ages of like 18 through like 26, 27, and you are thinking about wanting to do this, I would send Bart an email and I would say, I'm interested. What do you think? Here are my skills. This is what I want to do. The most important thing is that you are excited about this and that you have a desire to do this and that you think that you will succeed this summer. Because it is a little bit of a process. You are going to have to interview with several people and you are going to have to do a video and do some applications because this is probably be one of the most important jobs you do in another country. You know, this is like the beginning of like real adult work, if you will. If you're just in university, this is something different that you've never done before. And then think about all of the other things that you can do after. So if you're questioning it, don't hesitate. Like Daniel said, like you are more than able and qualified. Just go for it. Just send them an email and we'll have a conversation.
I've got another question for you, Carmen.
Ooh.
It's from Patricia. And will I have the insurance also while traveling in the US?
So you have it for your entire time that you're working, 5 days before you start work, 5 days after you start work. And then if you say, I'm going to travel, you have the opportunity to extend that insurance by purchasing it for a very reasonable amount of money just to cover you while you are in the United States. So you can add on a week, 2 weeks, a month, so on and so forth. I will say that once you stop working at the camp and you have a specific date because it'll be on your visa, you have 30 days to travel.
Up to 30 days. Yay. All right. Any more questions, anyone? Thanks, Carmen. I don't see any. I just wanted to add that the application process with us is very easy. You just need to fill out a few forms and we're ready to present you to the camp. But we have another question from Tracy. When I work at camp, I was a photography student, so qualified as a photography specialist or an arts and craft specialist. I also like to cook and was qualified as a creative kitchen specialist. We all have skills. That's great. Yeah.
Thank you, Tracy.
Patricia is asking us, how many camps do we work with? And will I get placed for 100%? Can we make sure that you get placed?
I would love to say that, but I can, if you pass an interview with me or with Tracy, we are going to do our hardest job. And sometimes it's very easy because sometimes there's a perfect match, but we will work as much as we can to get you into a camp. Camps email me every day looking for people. But here's what happens. Camps are hiring every day for every position with multiple sponsors. So what we do is we try to get the most qualified, amazing people who want to work at camps, which will hopefully be you guys. And that's what we present to camps. We say, Patricia was from Poland and she wants to work at your camp. And here we go. These are her skills. I think she would be a great match. So I can never guarantee employment. I'm not the last decision maker, but we do our best.
I've got another question from Laura. Just in case, when I'm on the camp, can I choose a diet? I'm a vegetarian and I won't eat any meat.
Okay, so there's almost always options, but this brings up a very good point. I don't know if you know much about the American diet, but it's even worse for children at a summer camp. Because if you imagine that there's one kitchen cooking for hundreds of people at the same time, the food is going to be very easy items like spaghetti, like pastas, pizzas, chicken nuggets is big here, tacos, I will say that almost all the camps have a salad bar where they have fruit and healthy options, yogurts, granola bars, a coffee bar, and those kinds of things. But it will be those types of foods. There will almost always be something that caters to someone. There's always kids that have food allergies and those things and dietary restrictions. So I would say when you talk to a camp, that's a conversation to have. Hey, I'm a vegetarian. What do you think? How do you think I will do with transitioning to your camp food? And they'll usually say there's something for everyone.
Thanks, Carmen. I've got another one for you. Claudia is asking what's the stipend amount per week? The stipend is around $130 per week, right?
That was for Challenger. So if you say, and this is estimated for the total amount. So if you worked at my camp, for example, and your stipend was $2,000 for 10 weeks, then you can, in your mind, divide, okay, it's about $200 a week. When you work in the United States, there is a little bit of tax that's taken out, but you file taxes when you return home. And I think you're able to recoup some of it. It's a minimal amount. Everyone that works in the United States pays taxes. I think it is what it is. But so once you have an idea of what that is when you work at a camp, you just divide it up amongst the weeks that you're working. And again, every camp will tell you, this is what you're going to make. This is the amount of time you're going to be working. So you'll have a clear understanding before you accept the job.
Okay, great, thanks. And I've got another question.
Okay,
Alicia is, Alicia is asking, can I go for a camp in the middle of June, for example? I'm asking because I have final exams in June and I'm not sure if I am able to pass all of them and then go for a camp.
I understand. This was something that came up with a lot of university students. So it just depends on the camp and who still needs people at that time. If you're an amazing candidate and a camp wants you, they will do their best to make it happen. But what happens is when you arrive at a camp, there's orientation and training that you don't want to miss. And camps will not let you miss that opportunity because it's so important to learn the rules and regulations of working with children in the United States, but it's also bonding. It's fun. It's getting to know each other and having fun, and it's social, so social. And it's before the kids come. So it's really important that you're there during that time. I mean, that's where I met my husband. So I got to tell you, it's the most important time for you to make your friendships and your bonds with people before you start some hard work. So
okay.
My answer is it's possible, but it just depends on the actual day.
Another question.
Okay.
Do you help? Where is that? I'm sorry, because it's just rolling now. Do you help in obtaining a J1 visa? Do I have to arrange everything myself? So let me take over here. So we will be happy to arrange everything for you, including, scheduling the visa at the US consulate in Poland and Czech, Slovakia, Hungary, wherever you wish to apply. And like I know from my experience that some of the students are, for example, on Erasmus exchange in Spain or in Italy or in UK or any other country, and we still can help you, arrange the visa in those countries, in those US consulates. So yeah, we will do our best just to schedule everything for you. Of course, if you want to do it yourself, you're more than welcome. We'll be happy to answer any question you have and support you, but you can count on us. And another question from Cloud, so I would get the money after the season, after this 10 weeks, for example, or we get the money weekly?
So again, it depends on the camp, but if you are, for example, at a overnight sleepaway camp, think about the risk of someone paying you hundreds of dollars every week and just having it. It's not the safest thing to have. So camps will usually hold your money and I say holds by like they don't cash a check or anything like that, but they have a record of what they're going to pay you. And then if you have a day off and you'd like to go to the cinema or out to eat and you say, hey, I'd like a little cash advance on my check, they will float you, they will give you a cash advance and subtract it from your money so that you are just traveling with that money on your day off. It is not safe to have a lot of cash because, you know, let's be real, anywhere that you are, whether it's in the United States or in your home country, you are still responsible for your own stuff and you can't keep track of every little thing at every little time. So just for safety purposes, we just want you to keep things in a safe place and be at little risk as possible. So you are going to keep your money with the camp. If you get paid weekly, they will usually give you some type of debit card to use. Again, it just depends on the camp. I do recommend that you do travel with a credit card that has available money on it as your backup for emergencies, for anything that could happen. Alliance Abroad does recommend that you travel with an available balance of anywhere from $1,000 to $1,500, just in case of anything.
Thank you, Carmen. I don't see any additional questions. Let's just wait another minute or so.
Okay.
But yeah, so guys,
Going great so far.
anything else you want to know? Tracy just mentioned that orientation is usually where you meet your summer support friends.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Does she mean the orientation in the United States or the
Yes.
orientation in the home country?
No. Well, it could be both. It could be both, because it would be amazing for the orientation to be done in person in Poland, and maybe we can arrange doing that all at once. But yeah, orientation at camp, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see any more questions, Carmen.
Okay, I think we answered everybody's questions.
Great. Guys, I've got a question then.
Okay.
What about flight to the US? Do you have it included in the price or do I have to buy tickets?
Your turn.
Let me. So no, I'm afraid that the flight ticket is not included in the price. So the price is so little, it's so low that I think that you still will be. It's going to be like easy for you just to afford the refer to the United States, but just, you know, send me an email to programs@allianceabroad.eu. I'll be happy, just to give you some details on the pricing and the best way of booking the ticket, the cheapest way.
I have to say, I don't know how much I'm allowed to say this or not, but I've watched Bart and we have been in so many planning meetings and conversations. It was really important to him that he give you guys this opportunity at a more than affordable price, because he wants you to have the experience. He is not about charging you guys a lot of money, because he knows how valuable this is. So I can say that there are lots of other countries that we work with and they all have varying prices. And I can tell you right now that Bart, what he's offering is the lowest amount out of everybody that we've worked with for this first group of people that want to get involved after this info session. So I would not wait. I would not wait until December. If you need a day or so, a week, and talk to your family and just say, I'm interested, of course, get your families involved, have them ask questions, of course. But have the conversation, just say, I'm interested, but I'm not sure. No problem. At least there's a conversation started.
Thank you, Carmen. I don't see any additional questions. Anyone?
Last call.
Yeah, that's the last call.
You can always email Bart with questions. Okay.
Don't see anything. So I think this is it. Thank you, Carmen.
Thank you. And I can't wait to meet you guys. I'm so excited. I really hope that you take the chance and apply for the summer camp program. It's an amazing opportunity.
Thank you. Have a good night. Bye.
Bye. Bye.